You walk through the city, and something inside whispers that everything could be different. Not tomorrow, not after you fix what's broken. Now, in this exact breath. But the noise drowns the whisper. The screen flickers. The mind races. The street roars. And that shift, that silent revolution, happening in plain sight, remains invisible. Today you'll hear what most teachings avoid. The shift that changes everything, not the shift you think you need, the one already happening, the one that, once seen, cannot be unseen. And the reason no one tells you is simple. Words fail where experience begins, but we'll try anyway, because some people are ready, and you might be one of them. Here's what unfolds. A moment splits open. The observer appears. The tight fist loosens without command. Time stops being a sentence. The enemy dissolves. Compassion erupts from unexpected soil. And the city, brutal and indifferent, becomes a living mandala. This is not belief. This is sight. The common enemy has always been the same, the trance of separation. The hypnosis that says, you are this small story, this fragile name, this accumulation of wounds and victories walking on concrete. That trance is invisible because it's been there since you learned language. It feels like you, but it's not. It's a costume you've worn so long you forgot you're wearing it. The shift happens when the costume cracks. Buddhism names it with precision. Awakening. Not as a distant reward for lifetimes of meditation, not as a mystical explosion reserved for monks in caves, but as a sudden clarity available right here in the middle of traffic. A gap opens. The machinery of thought stutters, and for one instant you see what's always been seeing, not you seeing, just seeing itself. That instant is the shift. Picture this. You're arguing with someone. The heat rises, words sharpen into blades, then something inexplicable happens. You step back, not physically, something in you steps back. You watch the anger like watching a fire in a distant field. You're still there, the anger is still there, but you are not consumed. That stepping back, that silent witness who appears without being called, that's the shift. And once it appears, it keeps appearing. Like a lighthouse you didn't know was there suddenly visible in the fog. The shift doesn't arrive through effort, it arrives through release. This is the paradox that confuses the mind. The mind wants a strategy, 10 steps to enlightenment, 5 practices to guarantee awakening, but the shift laughs at guarantees. It comes when you stop trying to make it come, when the grip loosens. When you exhale and forget to inhale a plan. In that pause, reality shows its face. There's a story. A student asks the master, how long until enlightenment? The master says, 10 years. The student says, what if I work twice as hard? The master says 20 years. The student is confused. The master smiles. Every time you add yourself to the equation, you delay what's already here. The shift doesn't need you to build it. It needs you to stop blocking it. In the city, the shift looks mundane. You're drinking coffee, and the taste floods you completely. Nothing else exists for that instant. No past, no future, just bitter warmth and the ceramic weight in your palm. That's it. That's the shift. Not fireworks, not visions. Just the raw presence of this. The mind dismisses it. Too simple, too ordinary. But simplicity is the door, complexity is the wall. The shift changes your relationship with suffering. Before the shift, suffering is personal. It happens to me, it's mine. It defines me. After the shift, suffering is weather. It arrives, it moves through, it departs. You don't deny it. You don't drown in it. You companion it without becoming it. That distance, thin as a thread, is freedom, not freedom from pain, freedom within it. Watch a child fall and scrape a knee. The child cries, fully, completely. Then, 10 minutes later, laughing. no residue, no story about how falling means something deeper about their worth. Just pain, then release. The shift returns you to that. Not childish, wise. The wisdom that knows clinging to suffering is optional. Here's what no one tells you. The shift doesn't make you special. It makes you ordinary in the best sense. The ego wants awakening as a trophy, a certificate, proof of superiority. But the shift dissolves that hunger. What remains is simpler. A person who can sit with another's pain without needing to fix it. A person who can receive criticism without building a fortress. A person who can watch a sunset without posting it. Just standing there, quiet, available. The shift happens in layers. The first layer is intellectual. You read about non-duality. You understand the concept. Everything is connected. Separation is illusion. Nice. But knowing about water doesn't quench thirst. The second layer is experiential. One day boundaries blur. You feel the city breathing with you. The stranger's sorrow is your sorrow. The dog's joy is your joy. That layer stuns you, but it's still not the final one. The final layer is lived integration. The shift becomes your default. Not something you access during meditation. Something you are while washing dishes, answering emails, sitting in traffic. The separation between practice and life dissolves. Everything is practice. The harsh conversation, the unexpected bill, the sleepless night, all of it, fuel, all of it, teaching. That's when the shift stops being an event and becomes a climate. There's a gatekeeper most people never see. The fear of losing control. The ego's terror that if you let go, you'll disappear. You'll become passive. You'll lose your edge. But this fear is based on a lie. The shift doesn't erase you. It clarifies you. What disappears is the false you, the armored you, the you built from comparison, defensiveness, and accumulated narratives. What remains is more alive, not less. Imagine peeling an onion, layer after layer. You think the core will be something solid, but when you reach the center, there's nothing, just space, transparent, odorless. That emptiness terrifies the mind, but the heart knows differently. That emptiness is fullness. It's the space where everything arises. Without that space, no thought, no emotion, no sensation could appear. The shift is recognizing you are the space, not the layers. The city becomes your monastery when the shift takes hold. The red light is a bell. The stranger's face is a mirror. The tension in your jaw is a signal. Everything speaks, not in words, in presence. You stop needing special conditions. Silence isn't found on a mountaintop, it's found inside noise. Peace isn't the absence of conflict, it's the ground beneath it. There are obstacles that return, doubt, distraction, old habits. The shift doesn't make you immune. It gives you a different relationship with falling. Before the shift, falling feels like failure. After, it's data. You fall, you notice, you return. No drama, no shame, just clarity. That return, faster and kinder each time, is the evidence of integration. One of the deepest secrets is this: the shift already happened, not in the future, not waiting for you to earn it. It's here. The awareness reading these words right now is the same awareness that mystics point to, unborn, undying, unchanged by the content it holds. The shift is recognizing that awareness is what you are, not something you have, what you are. You might ask how. If the shift is already here, why don't I feel it? Because you're looking for it as an object, as an experience to grasp. But the shift isn't an object, it's the subject, the seer, the knower. You can't see it because you are it. Like an eye that can see everything except itself. The shift is turning the light around, looking at what's looking. There's a practice hidden in ordinariness. When you notice you're lost in thought, pause. Don't judge the thought. Don't push it away. Ask softly, who is noticing this thought? Not as a philosophical question, as a gesture of attention. Who is aware right now? That question doesn't have a verbal answer. It has a silent recognition. You, not you the name. You the awareness. That recognition, repeated, becomes the shift. The shift changes how you hold time. Before, time is a thief, stealing youth, opportunities, people you love. After, time is a river you're swimming in. You can't stop it. You don't want to. You move with it. Moments become thicker, richer. A single conversation can hold a lifetime. A single breath can contain eternity. Not because time slows, because presence deepens. Here's a test. Next time anger arrives, don't try to be calm. Let anger be fully there. But watch it. Notice where it lives in your body. Notice the heat, the tightness, the impulse to act. Stay with the sensation without the story. Anger without narrative is just energy. It moves. It shifts. It dissolves. That space between sensation and story is where freedom lives. That space is the shift. Compassion erupts after the shift in a way that can't be faked, not the compassion that feels obligated, the compassion that flows like water finding a crack. You see someone suffering, and the boundary between you and them thins. Their pain registers without drowning you. You help if you can, not to earn points, not to feel good, because helping is what hands do when they see a need. Natural, unself-conscious. That's the shift signature. The shift doesn't make problems disappear. Bills still come. Bodies still atch. Relationships still challenge. But your relationship to problems shifts. Before, problems are obstacles to happiness. After, they're the texture of life. Not good or bad. Just what's arising now. That acceptance doesn't breed passivity, it breeds responsibility, the ability to respond clearly without the fog of resistance. Another paradox. The shift makes you both more and less serious. More serious about what matters, integrity, kindness, presence, less serious about what doesn't, status, perfection, being right. The ego's entire economy collapses. What replaces it is lighter. More spacious. Humor returns, not sarcasm, the humor that comes from seeing the cosmic joke. We're all pretending to be separate, and it's exhausting, and it's unnecessary, and it's also somehow perfect. You'll notice the shift in small things first. The way you listen changes. Before, you listen while preparing your response. After, you listen with your whole body. The other person feels it. They open more, speak truer, not because you're doing a technique, because you're actually there. Presence is the rarest gift. The shift makes you present by removing what blocks it. The shift also reveals what you've been avoiding. Old grief surfaces, unspoken resentments, fears you buried under busyness. This isn't punishment, it's house cleaning. The light of awareness illuminates what was hidden, and what's seen can be released. The shift doesn't protect you from your shadow. It invites you to face it with compassion. That facing is how the shadow loses its power. Here's what nobody tells you about the shift. It's ordinary, completely, utterly ordinary. Not in a disappointing way, in a sacred way. The sacred hidden in the mundane. The divine wearing sweatpants, buying groceries, stuck in traffic. The shift doesn't transport you somewhere else. It reveals where you've always been. And where you've always been is enough, more than enough. Astonishing, there are markers. You stop needing things to be different before you can be okay. You stop waiting for the perfect conditions to start living. You notice beauty without trying. A pigeon, a puddle. The way light cuts through buildings, you cry easier, laugh easier. Silence doesn't scare you. Being alone doesn't feel like exile. These aren't achievements. They're symptoms of the shift taking root. The shift is contagious, not through preaching, through presence. People feel something different around you. They can't name it, but they relax. They speak more honestly. They sense permission to be themselves. The shift in you gives others permission to shift. Not because you're better, because you stopped pretending. And that authenticity is magnetic. One final thing. The shift isn't the end. It's the beginning. After the shift, practice deepens. Life becomes the laboratory. Every moment a chance to choose awareness over automaticity, to choose presence over distraction, to choose love over fear. The shift doesn't make you perfect. It makes you willing. Willing to show up, willing to fail, willing to keep returning. So here you are, still in the city, still paying bills, still navigating traffic and relationships and the ordinary chaos of being human. But something has shifted, maybe not fully, maybe just a crack. But through that crack, light enters. And once light enters, darkness isn't the same. You see it differently, not as enemy. As the canvas light paints on, the shift that changes everything is this simple recognition. You are not the story. You are not the thought. You are not the emotion. You are the awareness in which all of it appears. And that awareness is vast, clear, unshakable. It was never born. It will never die. It is here now, reading these words, breathing this breath, holding this moment without effort. And when you see that, really see it, everything changes. Not the content of your life, the context, the frame, the ground. You stop fighting what is, you start dancing with it. And the city, wild and loud and relentless, becomes the perfect place to practice. Because if you can find the shift here, you can find it anywhere. And once found, it finds you everywhere. This teaching isn't mine to keep or yours to own. It belongs to the lineage of those who woke up and whispered, "You too, you're already home." Share this with someone who needs the reminder. Subscribe to keep walking together through this beautiful, brutal, sacred city. And when you close this, take one breath, just one. Fully here, fully now. That breath is the shift. That breath has always been the shift. Welcome home.